$20 at the truck stop for 2.5 gallons of pure DEF. I cannot believe it, man. This stuff is so expensive. Okay, things got interesting quickly. No, we're not getting rid of DEF, but man, I'll tell you what, it's on the chopping block. It is getting close. Now, a news article just came out from the EPA. I know there's been several interviews from Lee Zeldin himself actually on this topic, but I did want to show you guys a quick article about what is going on with the DEF fix. So if you have a diesel truck, pay attention, watch this video to its entirety. You guys can't miss a detail because I'm gonna try to talk about every detail that I can on this, because it's looking like here in the near future, in the very near future, and I'm hoping to see this within the next few months, that every single one of us are gonna get this update. And if we get this update, it's a game changer. So let's talk about that really quick. A lot of the news that I get from the EPA is directly from the EPA website, epa.gov. You guys can't go wrong. I'm trying to get you guys some factual information here. But this is what sparked the news. So EPA Administrator Zeldin announces diesel exhaust fluid DEF fix. What does that actually mean? Said EPA Administrator Zeldin, today we are responding to those concerns by calling on manufacturers to take action to update their software and eliminate the unnecessary sudden loss of power and frustrating shutdowns that too many Americans have experienced. The Trump administration is fighting for farmers and truckers, as evidenced by the EPA's new DEF guidance, which is a big win for the millions of small businesses who rely on diesel engines and who have been crushed by years of costly green new scam regulations. It moves on to say that starting with model year 2027, EPA requirements state that all new diesel on-road trucks must be engineered to avoid sudden and severe power loss after running out of DEF. And I'm just reading this verbatim off of the EPA website, but man, this is huge news. I mean, think about it. If they're taking the next action to do this, what else is in the cards? I mean, it's just baby steps. But really quickly, let me talk to you guys about that. I know TK's Garage made a video about this about 3 days ago, but man, diesel owners, pay attention. This is good news. This is good news for us, for the diesel community, but more importantly, for your truck. This was the donkey's answer to saving the planet one bottle at a time, one jug at a time with pure urea. But yeah, just imagine for a second, just put yourself in this position. You've probably already have been there, but just imagine that you're hauling a full load across the country, or say you're working a field, say you're a farmer, in the middle of harvest time, which is a very important time as a farmer, of course, and suddenly your truck or your tractor just drops down to 5 miles per hour. What happens, man? And it's not because of a blown engine. It's not because of maybe bad diesel fuel, but because of diesel exhaust fluid. When you run low on diesel exhaust fluid, or your system malfunctions, say you have a NOx code or something that puts you into reduced power mode, you're done, man. You're stuck. There's nothing you can do about it. Maybe 5 miles an hour. But just listen, that nightmare may well just come to an end. Actually, it's going to eventually. Maybe not completely getting rid of DEF, but there's a solution that the government's pushing out here. It's kind of exciting. So the EPA just announced a major change on how DEF systems will work. So this could save truckers, farmers, diesel owners millions of dollars and countless headaches, as well as auto manufacturers. That's also a big one on how they're gonna make vehicles moving forward. And we're gonna talk about that year 2027. But today we're gonna go ahead and break down exactly what the new EPA guidance says, why it matters, and how to get the software update for your truck. I know it's not out yet, but we're gonna talk about that, and also what this means for your wallet. So I'm gonna go ahead and talk about the old versus the new. So let's just start with the old system first. So if your DEF tank did run dry, or even if a sensor went bad, your diesel engine really just doesn't care, okay? If you're 20 miles from home or in the middle of nowhere, within a few hours, the engine would go into derate mode or reduced power mode. But first it would lose power, then it would lock you down as little as 5 miles per hour like I talked about. And this meant stranded truckers on the highways, even farmers stuck in fields, and construction equipment completely sidelined. And all because of fluid level sensors. Can you believe it? If you think about it, back in the day when we didn't have that stuff, we didn't have to worry about this. Our economy kept moving. There was no reason to continue to add this crap in your truck. I'm gonna keep moving. Now here's what the EPA is rolling out. So starting with model year 2027 diesel engines, this is important. It will follow a new graduated D-rate schedule instead of instantly crippling your rig. So there's 3 levels here. So the first level is gonna be 650 miles. So it's gonna give you plenty of time to get to a truck stop, get to your destination, of course, that's gonna be a big one. And really there's just no change at all, even if there's a DEF fault. The other one's gonna be 4,200 miles or 80 hours, only a mid D rate. but your truck keeps rolling at the highway speeds, and then the other one's going to be only after 8,400 miles or 160 hours, you could face lower speeds around 25 miles per hour. And that's what's on the books for the year 2027 when it comes to building diesel engines with emissions equipment on them. We'll see how that goes, but that's what the EPA is pushing to the auto manufacturers. Super exciting. We don't have to worry about that. That's kind of a big one. But for existing vehicles, that's really what we really care about right now. The EPA is letting manufacturers roll out software updates. So the EPA is allowing manufacturers to finally come out with software to add to your computer. So in a sense, tuning, if you think about it. This is a big deal. We're moving forward in the right direction, if you see where I'm coming from. But they're pushing updates. They're allowing these companies to finally make updates to give owners the same extended grace periods, the same ones, just like the 3 that we talked about. So 650 miles, 4,200 miles, or 80 hours, and then only after 8,400 miles or 160 hours. Okay, so you guys see where I'm coming from. The old system didn't work, and it still isn't working. As a matter of fact, a good friend of mine called me the other day. He's got a 2022 L5P Duramax dually, beautiful truck. Almost looks brand new. I mean, this truck is nice. But he had the stupid reduced power light turn on. He plugged in his scan tool and it said a NOx sensor. Of course, it's an emissions issue. He told me, can I bring it to your garage so we can look at it? He said, I only have 30 miles until it goes into reduced power mode. So anyways, we already figured that problem out. It's already done, but it's an emissions issue. And this isn't just one story. There's hundreds of thousands of stories out there. This is what's keeping these diesel shops and these dealerships in business, is the emission systems on these trucks. It's a nightmare. I mean, when a semi shuts down, when you think about it, you're not just stranded, okay? When that truck shuts down, you're losing time on deliveries, paying for tows, waiting for parts. That's always a big one. Lots of farmers across the country have reported that they're losing days, entire days of work during planting or harvest just because of faulty sensors. I mean, it's ridiculous. But according to the Small Business Association, the fix could save families over, I think it was $700 million a year in repair costs. That's a lot of money, $700 million a year. So it's going to keep our economy rolling, what the EPA is finally doing as far as moving forward and helping us little guys get back on the road. As of right now, here's the kicker. We've been waiting on the 45-day comment period. Of course, diesel emissions have to stay on the vehicle. It's not going away right now. I'm hoping it will in the future. A lot of people are doubting. I think that we're going to see some big changes. I mean, clearly we're seeing something right now. The EPA is working with the auto manufacturers on emissions equipment to better us, to better our vehicles. So we're moving forward, like I said, in the right direction. But trucks still need DEF. They still need the SCR systems. In my humble opinion, just my 2 cents after kind of doing a bunch of research here, the EPA isn't actively going after you or me or the guy with the deleted pickup truck. Right now it's at the state level. So just pay attention to your local laws. I guess that's kind of where I'm getting at with this one. Also, some of the stuff that I've been reading about the industry, how they've reacted to it, it's actually pretty positive, believe it or not, from both sides of the fence. Groups like the American Farmer Bureau, the Owner-Operator Independent Drivers Association, and also the American Trucking Association, that's also a big one. They all praised this move, and they called it common sense regulation, and it really is. Some of the farmers have talked about that this will basically mean that fewer ruined harvest days, and then of course truckers said that it means fewer tow bills. You guys always see semis on the side of the road with those big old giant wreckers hauling semis. A lot of it's because of emissions issues, believe it or not. And the big guy there at the EPA, Lee Zeldin, kind of a hero in my opinion at this point for the diesel community right now. He's just seems like he's on our side. I don't want to be too comfortable here, but it's looking good for us. It really is. He said that we're protecting both the environment, the people who keep America running, and honestly, that's a rare win-win. Cleaner air, but smarter rules. One thing about this channel is I try to be as accurate as possible. I know that there's a lot of misinformation out there. I do like to say things like, in my opinion. I like to give out my opinion, but I like to stick with facts. So I just want you guys to trust me when I talk about this, but here's an important point here. So some headlines and YouTube videos made it sound like the EPA is getting rid of DEF completely or ending DEF regulations. And obviously at this point, it's just not true. DEF is required still. Emissions targets are still enforced. Instead of instantly your truck just becomes handicapped, because that's exactly what happens, the EPA is giving you time to fix the problem and keep rolling. So that's why those extended miles are so helpful. They're so needed too. But the update applies to the current trucks already on the road. Obviously, that's kind of what we care about, not just the 2027 models that are rolling out eventually, but brands like the semi brands like Freightliner, Peterbilt, Kenworth, Volvo, Mack, International, that's another one. And even pickup trucks like the Ford, Ram, GM, so Chevy, Dodge, Ford, you guys are also in this. But here's the thing, guys, call your dealer or your service center and ask specifically about the EPA DEF D-Rate software update. That's a big one. It's an official EPA approved patch, so it won't void your warranty. Dealers are already scheduling installs, so for most owners, this update should be free or a very low cost. The EPA has directed manufacturers to treat it like a standard ECU reflash. So you guys can see what they're talking about. They're gonna have a magic genie, they're just gonna reflash it and you don't have to worry about it again. It kind of reminds me of the Allison 10-speed reprogramming recall for your transmission. It's kind of like that, where it warns you before it starts skipping or locking up. So once it's installed, your truck won't go into limp mode immediately. You'll have up to 650 miles or normal operation before any D-rate kicks in. And what does that mean? No more being stranded just because of a stupid sensor. That's the point that I want to drive home. If you're shopping for a new truck, I would hold off. I would wait till the model year 2027, because that newer year will already have the system built in. You don't have to worry about it. I'm also curious, again, to see what that means for engines moving forward after the public comment period is completely ended and the EPA makes a decision whether or not they're going to completely ditch the 09 endangerment findings. So if that happens, this is going to be a huge deal. I'm curious. I'm not going to buy a brand new truck yet. I'm just going to wait. I'm going to wait till 2027. I think I'm safe there. For everyone in the farming, construction, or trucking industry, this means that it's going to, of course, it's going to be less downtime, fewer tow bills like I talked about, and a lot less stress, a lot less money you need to pay out of pocket. But what do you think? Is this a smart fix from the EPA? I think that they got a lot of backlash. I think they were working back and forth with the left and the right, or whatever you guys want to call them. If this is the compromise that's going to better our industry as of right now, I mean, I'm not completely happy with it, but I am excited that they're even considering this, and it's already been in the works and it's already moving forward. So in my opinion, this is a win-win. I agree with Mr. Zeldin when he said this is a win-win. It really is at this point, but we'll see. I have high hopes, I guess, is kind of where I'm getting at. But have you ever been stranded because of DEF? Let me know in the comments. You guys know I have. I talked about it in a couple videos. I've been stranded. My DPF clogged up. That's exactly what happened. When that happened, I was pulling a trailer. I was in the Rockies of Colorado, which is like the worst place in America to be, that high up in elevation. Luckily, I didn't have a load. That was nice. I had my 35-foot gooseneck trailer connected to my truck. But I was stranded for a couple days on the side of the road. It wasn't fun. It really wasn't. My destination was Michigan. It wasn't like I was 3 hours away from home. But drop your stories in the comments. I'd love to read them. I'd love to hear them. I'm sure a lot of people would like to hear them. Go to the comments, guys. Read this stuff. A lot of people put a lot of good insight in the comments. I love to read your guys' stuff. And if you found this breakdown helpful, please hit that like button for me. Also subscribe if you guys enjoy diesel news, if you guys enjoy diesel pickup truck builds. We do a lot of that here. I don't want to go away from it, but a lot is going on in our country right now. And since I have a platform, I just want to educate people. I just want to share the knowledge. That's all I want to do to help people out. That's why I designed this channel. But definitely share this video with someone who actually has a diesel truck, someone who ever was cursed with the DEF sensor. Share it with them, man. This is exciting stuff. And depending on when you're watching this, we are just days away from closing out the turbo giveaway contest. We don't need that anymore. Maybe, I don't know, we'll see. Every $1 spent on my website is one automatic entry. I sell diesel truck parts for your Duramax, Powerstroke, and Cummins. Yes, I'm gonna do my pitch, but guys, seriously, pick up something, a decal. If you guys don't wanna buy diesel parts, we have a lot of inexpensive stuff on the website. Like, for example, American flag hats, key tags, stickers, shirts, stuff like that. Something for everybody, so pick something up. If you are randomly picked, you will win a turbo of choice on the website. We sell tons of turbos. So that's it. Thank you guys so much for watching. We'll see you on the next one. Stay tuned.
sounds really healthy now. Ooh.
I hope she's leaking some. It probably put some little juice through the old.
Oh yeah.
Uh-oh.
This thing's blown up, Josh.